Divide. All right, so we want to divide when a decimal is involved. So as long as the dividend, what we're dividing by, is a whole number, then we can just divide this as if we're dividing whole numbers. And just remember that we put the decimal place above the current decimal. So what I mean by that is I've got 8 dividing into 50.4. So I'm going to keep my decimal place in the exact same spot there. 8 doesn't go into 5, so instead we need to put this into the tens place here. So 8 is going to go into 50 6 times, and then multiply back. That's going to give me 48 with a 2. 8 does not go into 2, so I'm going to bring down my 4. 8 goes into 24 3 times, multiply back, subtract there with a remainder of 0. So 8 divided into 50.4 is going to give us 6.3. So you see the decimal stays lined up in the same place. Alright, next example here. Same idea. We're dividing already by a whole number, so we're just going to divide. We'll put the decimal exactly where it goes above. 32 doesn't go into 2. 32 does not go into 20 either. So we're going to see, okay, how many times does 32 go into 201? And that's actually going to go in 6 times. But because we had to go to the 201, so the third place there, our 6 is going to go just behind the decimal. And then we're going to multiply back. So 32 times 6 is going to give me 192. I'm going to subtract, which is going to give me 9. Bring down my 6. 32 doesn't go into 9, so bring down my 6. And now we want to see how many times does 32 go into 96. It goes in exactly 3 times. Multiply back, minus 96, and we've got 0. So when we take 20.16 and divide by 32, we get 0.63. Alright, next one here. We see actually that we have a divisor that is a decimal. So in that case, we actually want to move the decimal place until it becomes a whole number. So I'm going to take 0.6, and if I move my decimal place 1 place over, this is now going to be a 6. But since we're doing that to the divisor, right, we also need to do that to the dividend. So I'm going to take my dividend, which is 1.62, and move my decimal place 1 place as well. So this gives me 16.2. So now we'll use that to divide. So 6 divided into 16.2. 6 doesn't go into 1, but 6 does go into 16 2 times, so that's going to go above the 6. Multiply back, which is 12. Do our subtraction there. 6 doesn't go into 4, so we need to bring down our 2. Remember that decimal place goes in the exact same spot. So 6 goes into 42 7 times, so 2.7 here. Multiply back, subtract, and simplify. So we're going to get that 1.62 divided by 0.6 is going to be 7. It's going to be 2.7 here. So again, we can move the decimal there. We just make sure we move both decimals. Alright, so again, we have one with a decimal, so 2.6 divided into 54.6. I'm going to use that same trick. Move my decimal place 1, so this is going to become 26. But if I do that to the divisor, I also need to do that to the dividend. Alright, so our new division here is actually 26 divided into 546. So let's see how many times 26 goes into 5. It won't, but 26 will go into 54 2 times. So I put that 2 above the 4. I'm going to multiply back, which is going to give me 52. Do my subtraction, that gives me a 2. 26 doesn't go into 2, so I drop down my 6. 26 will go into 26 exactly 1 time, multiply back, and we get a remainder of 0. So 54.6 divided by 2.6 is going to give me 21. Alright, and this last one here, same thing, it looks a little different. So if we wanted to set this up the same way, we would write this as 0.8112 divided by 0.01. So we use that same trick, move the decimal place. This time we have to move it 2 places to make it a whole number. So I need to move it 2 places for my dividend as well. So now we have 1 being divided into 81.12. Alright, we'll line this up, put our decimal directly above. 1 actually goes into 8 times. Multiply back, that's going to give us 8. Remainder is 0, bring down our 1. So 1. Multiply back, 0, bring down our 1. 1. Subtract, bring down our 2. It's going to go into 2 times, which gives us 0. So we actually get 81.12. So hopefully what you recognized here is that when we move that decimal, because this is actually a product of 10, right? This is like 10 to the negative 2, because we moved it 2 places. That what that's doing is it's actually just moving the decimal place. So if we have 81.12 divided by 1, well, that's just going to give us 81.12. And so when we divided by 0.01, it took 2 decimal places to make that a 1. So we moved this 2 decimal places to make it 81.12. And that'll be our final answer there.